health. There's an app for everything and anything, including one that can help Americans living with bipolar disorder.
A new study shows the app Julie is the first ever app that could actually reduce bipolar symptoms. Joining us live to tell us how it works is co-founder and CEO Bettina Hine. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So this app, an app for bipolar disorder, when I first, read this study, I was kind of blown away because you don't typically think of an app for treatment when it comes to mental health. So how does it work?
Julie is just very simple. You have it on your phone, and what's behind it is more complicated. We pull in lots of data from your smartphone, from wearables, actually weather and other environmental factors, your electronic health record. And then every day we ask you less than a handful of questions, and we crunch all of that data to find patterns in your data to see what your triggers are and what are your levers to get better.
Interesting. So how different is this? Obviously, it's different than how people typically probably have to manage bipolar disorder. Again, this being the first app of its kind. How different is this? Why is this an effective way to go about managing bipolar disorder?
Well, bipolar disorder is a really serious illness. About 11 million people in the United States within their lives deal with it. And you really need to have psychiatric care for that. So Julie is not a replacement for that at all. And typically it's managed with therapy and medication, and also with managing your life. It pertains to exercise, to sleep, to sunlight hours, to movement, etc. And that's where Julie comes in. So we can match these daily goings on in your life with how you're feeling. And we actually apply the same scales that you would be getting asked at your doctor's office.
So in terms of its impact, when you're able to aggregate some of this data on the app and give people greater control of tracking and triggers and factors, what have you actually found in terms of the impact with people using Julie?
Well, we found significant impact. First of all, people really love the app. We get lots of feedback. So we've had tens of thousands of people use this. And what we've seen is an over 50% reduction in manic states. So bipolar means that you have high highs and low lows, and it sort of cycles through that with periods of stability. So over 50% reduction in the manic symptoms over 8 weeks, and about 20% reduction in the depressive symptoms. So something that can really make a difference in a person's life that has bipolar disorder.
Wow. Wow, it's fascinating, as well as, to go over the impact too, just how exactly that works. Moving ahead with the future of Julie, I mean, this is pretty, I don't know if revolutionary is the right word, but again, we haven't heard about this in other forums with managing bipolar disorder through an app. Is there another health condition that you would be looking at trying to help mitigate or control through an app?
Actually, Julie already covers a number of chronic conditions. So right now we cover asthma, chronic pain, migraine, depression, and hypertension, as well as bipolar disorder. And we can also cover what's called comorbidities between those two, which means if you have depression and migraine, we can actually look at both together. So we're looking to expand that to autoimmune conditions and other things like diabetes. But this was sort of the first analysis that we've put out there publicly on the effects.
Wow, it's really interesting.
It is.
And I do see the potential for a lot of intersectionality there, being able to just kind of better track some of those things that can have an effect on our mental health. Bettina, thank you so much for joining us to talk about Julie. Really interesting stuff.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You as well,
too.
yeah.
And if you want to learn more about